The wind howled across the wide-open desert plains, carrying whispers of dust, secrets, and the scent of rain that never came. Under the blazing sun, a young Apache woman rode her chestnut horse through the rugged canyon trail, her long black hair flowing behind her like a streak of night against gold and red cliffs. Her name was Nayeli, known among her people as the one with eyes sharp as the eagle's and a spirit, wilder than the desert wind. But fate, cruel and silent, had its own plans that day. A single misstep from her horse, a loose patch of gravel, and the world turned upside down. The sound of snapping bones echoed louder than her scream. The horse bolted away in panic, and Nayeli lay sprawled among the rocks, pain flooding through her leg. Her breath came in shallow gasps as dust clung to her tears. The canyon swallowed her cry. No one heard it. Miles away from her village, she was alone. The sky stretched endlessly above her, blue and merciless, as if watching a life slowly slip away. As the minutes turned to hours, hope began to fade. The desert didn't forgive weakness. It never had. Just when the first edge of twilight began painting the canyon walls crimson, the distant creak of a wagon broke the silence. Nayeli struggled to lift her head. Through blurred eyes she saw a man, a tall, broad-shouldered figure leading an old mule and pulling a small wooden cart filled with tools and hay. His hat cast a shadow over his face, but even from afar, she could tell he didn't belong to her world. He was Eli Turner, the reclusive farmer who lived miles away from town, a man the locals called the Ghost of Red Mesa. Few had spoken to him in years. He was known for keeping to himself, working his barren ranch in solitude, haunted by a past no one dared to ask about. When he saw the woman on the ground, his first instinct was to turn away. Trouble in this land often came dressed as need. But something in her trembling eyes made him stop. Maybe it was the same loneliness he carried buried deep in his own soul. He kneeled beside her, his voice rough from years of silence. "Don't move! Your leg's broken," she winced, clutching the edge of his sleeve, her voice faint but fierce. "Please, don't leave me here." For a long moment he just stared at her, the dying light catching the fear and fire in her eyes. Then, without another word, he carefully lifted her into his cart. She cried out in pain, but his hands were gentle, steady. As he drove the mule toward his ranch, the wheels groaned against the dirt road, and the night fell around them. Coyotes sang in the distance. Nayeli's consciousness faded, but through the haze of pain, she caught glimpses of him, his quiet strength, the sadness in his eyes, the way he avoided looking at her too long, as if afraid she'd see the ghosts hiding there. When they reached his farmhouse, a lonely cabin at the edge of the plains, Eli carried her inside. The place smelled of old wood and solitude. A single lamp flickered on the table. He laid her gently on the cot, cut away her torn boot, and wrapped her leg with careful precision. His rough hands trembled slightly, unused to human touch. Nayeli whispered, "Why help me?" His answer came after a long silence, "Because no one else would." Outside, the desert wind cried through the trees, carrying with it the sound of the past. Inside that quiet cabin, two strangers, one broken in body, the other in spirit, had found each other in the most unforgiving of places. Nayeli's eyes met his as sleep took her, and for the first time in years, Eli felt something stir in his chest, something he thought the desert had buried long ago. And as the lamp burned low, the story of an Apache woman and a reclusive farmer truly began, born not of chance, but of destiny shaped by pain, loneliness, and the fragile thread of unexpected kindness.